Nobody is going to stop Tim Nye. He wins the race and the championship.
Number 42 in your program and number 1 in your heart, or maybe number 1 on your hit list, Tim Nye.
You are just not going to beat this guy in this team. He is simply the best. Coming out of turn 4, Tim Nye is going to take the win, his 10th DNQ Series win.
Continuing his dominance here at the Millbridge Speedway. Beer bat from the number 42 of Tim Nye.
Tim Nye is your 2016 Winston Cup Series champion. Will he ever be stopped? Well, Tim, I want to thank you for joining me here at DNQ Flashback, and it's really good catching up with you and getting to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
All right, Tim, we know that you don't run DNQ anymore, but you still do some racing. What are you racing now?
So yeah, after the go-kart world, I got into 600s, and I kind of built a car, and it took me a couple years. It was a couple-year project. But then ever since then, I've just been racing at Rockfish and local tracks and wingless, winged, and I kind of love it.
All right, I've got a question from Brad Buzzkirk, and Brad wants to know, out of all your 3 brothers, why are you the worst driver?
That's pretty funny. But he is my #1 favorite shit talker, and especially doing the videos. I think during the videos, I would cringe until I watched the video to see, oh shit, what's Brad going to say this week? Or Chester.
You have 11 DNQ Karting Series wins, 2 championships in 2015 and 2016. What was it like at that time racing DNQ and winning championships?
It was pretty sweet in my time when the DNQ being there at the beginning. The group of racers that were there were pretty die-hard racers to get having fun in the go-karts. It was such a fun time that group, I feel like, and the amount of power that those go-karts had were so much fun to drive. So I don't know if that answered the question. I kind of forgot the question.
Well, Tim, we know when you win a lot of races, you quickly become one of the most hated drivers in DNQ. What was it like being hated so much as a driver?
It's like Dale Earnhardt says, if they're booing for you or making any kind of noise, it's good. And I know there was a lot of them that hated to see me win. I'll tell you one thing I learned over time. If you think you're on top, you better enjoy it while it lasts, because it ain't going to last forever. And they're going to catch up, and your competition's only going to get better. And so if you're going to win, and enjoy it while you are, because at the end of the DNQ, it was tough for us to win. At the end of it, it wasn't like that. We had 5 of us that could win at any time, and it was a challenge, which is good. That's good.
A lot of the people that follow DNQ want to know what happened to you. Why did you quit racing in DNQ? You had so much success, and it kind of you just disappeared and fell off the face of the map. What happened there?
What do you mean?
Like, why did you guys stop racing?
So I wanted to keep racing with the modified deal, and I think I would still be racing if the modifieds had continued. And then they were put on a limited schedule. I tried to work with GRP, but he kind of moved on to the 500s at the time, too, and he was working with Harold Wiggins doing the 500 thing. So I tried to kind of work a deal where he could buy the motor, but it didn't really work out, and then the class kind of went downhill, and then I tried to race the Predator stuff, and it's not that it wasn't for me, but I guess if I would have did the Predator first, it would have been more fun. But after you run a modified with 30 horsepower, it's tough to go from a 9 or 10 horsepower flat out kart. I mean, it's more of a tire game, and then Austin Yarborough and the Jamie Knopfs were showing up, and them guys are the best. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of wasn't for me.
Brendan GRP was probably one of the most dedicated, hardcore team owners to drive for. What was it like driving for him, and how was your relationship through all those years racing?
I tell you, he would take care of the kart. He would let me do whatever on tires. He would buy whatever we needed. I was honored to race for GRP. The only thing I would say about GRP is sometimes he'd get nervous. I'd see him up there. He would want to win, and it was a lot of pressure on me. But at the end of the day, we had a blast. I always that's some of the best racing of my DNQ career, like running with him, and we both had a good time. And he's full of energy and always kidding around, and he's just a blast to be around.
This is by far my favorite question to ask. who was your rival racer? I think I already know the answer, but who was the biggest pain for you to race around?
You know, as far as like a Ridenhour goes, or LJ's clean as can be, Brad was clean, Holzbauer's clean. I'd say even though we didn't race a lot together, and now we're different, like, you know, but I'd say Flores. Not so much that he's just that dickhead from Jersey, which now I like Flores, and I try to talk to him and stuff. But when we were doing go-kart stuff, I mean, we just find each other somehow, and between his mentality and mine, I mean, I remember we were on the little track, and I mean, I said, if that fucker fucks with me, I'm gonna put my nose right through his fucking rear bumper. And then I bent his wheel, and so afterwards it was cool because we're with GRP, we're pulling off the racetrack, and he has his left rear bent wheel standing there, and he's about to like throw it at me, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
This is what Tim had to do with his brand new Triton and all his brand new stuff he's got here in his 15 sets of tires, and we come with old Nemesis and a, you know, borrowed set of tires. But, you know, I guess you need talent too to go along with that brand new car and all that money.
Flores has all kinds of cheating ways when he comes out here, just like he buys his $28,000 TQ midget. And I wasn't going to put up with him either, from his cheating lug nuts to he was light across the scales. So, you know, he gets what he gets. So, and I don't care. But at the end of the day, it was just great rivalries, and it was great competition. If racing didn't have those characters, it wouldn't be what it is.
All right, Tim, the race that you wanted to watch today was the In-Home Delivery Services 40 from Millbridge Speedway. You won that race, but why did you pick this race to watch?
Every race has its own importance in where I cherish them, you know, whether it's a deal with GRP and a deal, or if it's because I built my own kart and won it like at the fair. That's a cool race. But I think that when me and Eford went to the racetrack and we were teammates and doing that, and GRP, it kind of summed up everything, and it not just about GRP or me. Like, it was my racing with my buddy, and of all people I have a tough race with is with one of my, you know, good drinking buddies, Jason Eford.
So you and Eford started on a pole for this. What? GRP had 2 carts. For what reason? Why did he want to start 2?
I believe we were going out one day to lunch and drinking beer, and me and Eford talked GRP into doing a team deal. And that way GRP was going to create 2 engines that were equal. Later we found out, Eford still gives me a lot of shit, that his was down a few horsepower because it didn't have enough piston. That's his excuse anyways. But after watching the video, actually, earlier, I was like, I kind of passed him pretty clean.
Yeah.
But that was a good race. This is a good race.
Yeah. GRP spent so much time working on those engines. I mean, it's almost unfair. I think Buzzkirk was good too, and Holzbauer was good, LJ was good, but I don't think they were anywhere close to what GRP had.
Yeah, when GRP came on board, it really changed the game. And what was cool is how I met GRP. He come to one of the beginning races where I won on my own stuff. That time I picked on RJ and ran around the racetrack, which was a blast. But then this race here was pretty exciting because me and Eford are not just good drinking buddies, but we're trying to outdo each other the same way. So it's pretty intense.
Look how fast these things are. I mean, like, I forget how fast. I was talking to Tutal about it last time we did one of these, and I said, you had to pretty much respect each other to a point. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You had to make sure you didn't do anything real stupid.
There were times going down the straightaway, it was scary how fast we were going. And it was like, I'd jump in my 600, and I'd feel almost just as fast in a cart, especially because you're an inch off the ground, and you have no protection, no cage, no nothing. And, you know, you see all the wrecks that happened and people's shoes flying off and everything else.
Yeah, what I love going back and watching was, number one, how fast they were, and number two, the group of guys we had racing with us. It was actually a lot of fun because you had decent competition.
Yeah, I mean, now all the kids came in and a lot of regular go-karters, but this, I think, was down-to-earth, like real racers that were, not saying anyone now ain't, but just it was a group of guys that were fun. We kind of went to field fillers with a few of them, which kind of started how I met you and everything. And so it was great to keep just fun Wednesday night shows going.
Dan Reitenhauer was always fun to watch race. Like, if his stuff would have stayed together, he would have won the first championship we had. But, like, it was fun. And Buskirk falling out of the seat. That's what I remember making this graphic, laughing so hard. This is like one of the first races he ran.
Especially with Brad, too. Between Brad and Ridenauer, there's a group of us, LJ McCleary. I think that core group that started it all, to me, with the modifieds, it was more than just a go-kart and tires. It was getting your motor right, getting your kart right, it was a full-out deal with tires, everything.
I remember watching the last ever Cup engine race we ran, and Brailsford was out there messing around with LJ. He had the left front tire off the racetrack, and I don't think I'd ever seen that on a go-kart before. It was three-wheeling. It was pretty cool. But just show you how much actual power you had. How much did you have in your engine? Do you remember?
I had a few Coors Lights in it, and GRP probably had like $2,500.
Oh, no, I mean like as far as power.
No, I think they made probably 25 to 30 horsepower. I want to maybe a shy under 30, but it definitely had a lot of steam.
Yeah.
From when I was tinkering, doing my own stuff, and we were all finding out the limits of the stock parts. I had we broke pistons, we broke rods, we broke a lot of different stuff, and then finally GRP said, I'm going to build something, and dude, it was badass. GRP was awesome at doing that, and I was very thankful. I remember that, he come over, and we went to Dick Timmons' house, and I didn't know what the plan was going to be, and he said, I'm buying a go-kart today. So we went to Dick's, and he threw $3,000 cash. I think he was going to the strip club or going there, because he put all the money in the seat, and we walked away with the Triton, and it was one of the baddest-ass karts I ever driven.
Yeah. There was a lot of engine failures. I just blew up right here. But it was like the compression releases would go.
Yep,
that was one of the things that would blow in them. So then eventually we went like, okay, you had to pull start it. That was a rule.
Yep. It kept it good because GRP, he actually pull started with no compression release, and it was he broke so many pull cords. We had to have pull cords sitting there on standby.
That was a problem. People break pull cords, they'd break stuff, and then eventually we just went to the remote start because people kept blowing up, and they were like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Well, then
it's like one thing gives, and then another thing gives, and before you know it, we have out of control expensive engines. And it was sweet though. I feel like that was the best. You had to drive the go-kart, and then I tried Predator stuff for a few times, and it was just like held it wide open, and I don't know what them guys do to the motors, and it was just not for me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
There's a reason I don't race anymore.
We're retired. We're
yeah. That was the problem with it, is when you only had a couple competitors, but when something happened like that mechanically, you're kind of like, oh man, I really wish they were out there still racing. But like, even though you look at this, like the 5 or 6 guys that are out front are still really good. I mean, the guys that ran in the front were always good.
Oh,
good equipment, good everything.
It was the same loyal competitors in the end too that were the ones to beat all the time. Like LJ McCleary, he's one of the best, I feel, and he's diehard racer. I see him and his wife and whatnot, and they got the kids involved in it. And we might pick on each other online, or but I tell you what, they really care about their racing, and they're dedicated.
Oh, and that's what it takes. You look at now with the Hoosier Treaded stuff, he's actually going to be one of the favorites to win the whole thing because he's so smooth.
Yep.
That was his biggest thing.
It's definitely cool, and it's badass throughout the whole DNQ. You don't see many series and promoters as yourself willing to change. Everybody wants to just keep what's been for so long, and adding different rules to keep it interesting really helps this series, which is I miss the most about it. Whether it's doing a pit stop we did, or hell, running around the racetrack, or whatever it was. Field fillers. We ran around the track that one time, and I think you took what was going great and made it even better as a series. Going to different tracks.
That's one of the things that started with it, is when they decided they weren't going to race anymore. It was we had just got rolling. It was bothering me. I'm like, man, I want to race. And then that's how this all kind of started, to be honest with you. As we're watching Brad fall out of the seat here.
I don't get, man. Oh, man. Come on, Brad.
Yeah. Falling out of the seat.
Yeah, he was fast as shit, but always, that's another thing. So the karts now, these carts, so much power, you had to hang on, especially Millbridge on a rough day or something. Like
Yeah.
it would, my head was bobbing. It was friggin' hard to hold on and doing everything I could do.
That's another thing, like that AAR race we ran up there. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
It's all
Yep.
you can do to stay in the seat. Like that's when I learned putting a chain here doesn't work. You got to
Right.
put it like
it
here.
starts lifting your
Oh,
whole body too after
Yeah.
a while.
Oh yeah.
Like Paul
Rice.
Yeah, Paul Rice. He actually strapped it right to the cart frame, I think, at Field Fillers. Old P. Rice.
I think Eford was good. He always had engine issues. That was his thing. I mean, he's not a bad racer.
No.
He just got roped into
Eford-
being bad on this.
Me and Eford, I tell you what, we would, God, in them days, we would, half the fun was after Field Fillers, after a weekend or something, man, we'd live after it. We'd talk about it. We'd go to the bar, talk about it. The night before, we'd be sanding tires together out at my garage at the apartments, and I mean, it was a blast. It was good fun, great friends. I mean, everyone picked on each other. I remember being in Hot Shots, and there was a DNQ party. Like, everyone would get together. Brad, I mean, friggin' Panda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just people I know from the racing thing. Everyone had a good time.
So you're basically running away with this race right now. I don't think I've ever seen anybody even close to you at Ridenhour having an issue. Yeah, man, he always had problems too.
Yeah.
He was another guy that if he just didn't have
It
an
was
issue,
tough
he'd have
to
been good.
keep up with the engine stuff. It was just
I think that's
it was
eventually
so
what
hard.
killed it. Is
Yeah.
it cost so much,
Yeah.
you weren't making that much money.
I mean, it was always you were going to find out what the next week is part. But I'm running out of gas. I mean,
that
it's
was a legit
kinda-
issue.
I mean, when you're too busy drinking in the trailer and you don't want to check your fuel. I mean, come on.
When he went
somebody,
right back out. I thought
Somebody
he-
get the fucking fuel in the thing.
Yeah.
No, actually, me and Ridenhour, we're good buddies, and now they race Rockfish in the Legend car, and it's so cool. I got to drive a Legend car last year, and I'm like, of all people, I told him, I said, no matter what we do, this ain't go-karts right now, or let's not find each other on the racetrack. About halfway in the race, I get either under him or something, and he's a little out of control, and then who finds each other? Me and him. The caution come out right after, and I look, and he's wrecked over in the corner. I'm like, damn it. But right now, I tell you what, that dude, he will race you like it's the last lap all the time, and I give him a lot of respect because he's a hard racer, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people think he can be dirty, but I don't think it's dirty. It's just he wants to win, and it don't matter what position or what, and he's going to drive you hard, and if he can get that spot, he's going to get it. Which
here's the 5 to go.
Yeah.
So, for some reason, I remember this becoming like you and Eford deal, the spotter cam. That was before they actually did the spotter cam on NBC. That cracked me up so much. It's like we've been doing this for a long time with the spotter cams. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, the 5 to go cautions were that it didn't matter what you did, the 25 laps before or 20 laps, whatever it was. It all come down to this.
Like how many races you're getting ready to win.
Yep.
And then it's like, are
something
you
happened,
kidding
you know?
me? Like the one race that I won on dirt is because you and Holzbauer got into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
you were
that's
way
one of my
faster
last.
than me.
That's one of my last races too. I really remember, and at the end I was so mad at Holzbauer. He's another one, dude. I miss racing with him so much, and he had to do what he had to do, and I don't blame him, you know. And at the end it was like, what the hell? I was so mad, but then it's like, don't beat me up. Don't. I love you, Holzbauer.
Well, here we go. You and Eford. He cut right down under you. What do you think at this point when he gets under you and passes?
There's a lot of pressure here, especially Ridenhour there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh shit. And if I lose, GRP's gonna be hating on me, and Eford's trying to see. Look, that was pretty fucking clean. I feel. I got
that's
under
not
him. I
bad.
mean, I didn't knock him out of the way that hard. I definitely drove in there on a mission, but sorry, Jason.
You know what I noticed in 3 and 4 that you did that not a lot of people did was you would diamond 3 and 4 real hard. Like a lot of the footage I watch, you do shallow entries, scoot up, and then cut off, and it seems like it always worked for you way better. But the tracks change so much now you can't really.
Yeah,
you might
it's
be
way
able to do it,
different.
but it's way different.
I haven't been out there in a go-kart in a long time.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to get out there and go play.
Do you still
It's
have
sad.
your Phantom?
So yeah, I built that go-kart. After I ran GRPs, I built actually 2 carts. It's pretty funny. Like, I can't afford to do it all on my own, so I just I can buy some steel though and try to hack something together. So yeah,
This is a great
that was
race.
pretty badass. I know Eford was pretty mad after that, but yeah, I got that cart, the neon red frame cart, which is like a Junior Triton copy, and I built that.
Tim Nye, a run for his money was his teammate.
Oh, I gotta listen to this.
Jason, here we go.
What happened on the last restart? First off?
Run
I
out of
timed it
talent.
just right and was able to clear him. He's my teammate. I didn't really want to mess him up, but I wanted to win, so I shoved it down in there. I didn't know if I'd be able to hold it.
This
or
is
not.
back when Eford used to
He
race.
just, he got underneath me, and unfortunately, Ridenhour got underneath me too. So I'd rather finish third trying for the lead than just finish second riding. So
Now he's trying to finish finding his balls
Tried,
and
give it a
Whitney's
valiant
purse.
effort for that matter. But you did use the bumper. Was that a conscious effort at that point to try to get him behind you
I
and
just
hold
love
him off?
listening to this
Or is that
stuff now.
simply a matter of you wanted it at that point at least maybe more than he did?
well, I'm gonna do whatever I got to. I'll use the bumper on anybody, my teammate or anybody. It's the win. It's the last restart, so I knew
I
that.
believe that was his first and last GRP race.
Yeah, you don't win, you're out. Huh?
Yeah,
He's pretty ruthless
you're
with drivers, wasn't he? They're like one
Oh,
or two
yeah.
times
They got
somebody
into
drive
it. We
for him
went to
and then
James Stanley's
be gone.
for a housewarming party, and GRP and Eford were there. I think it's one of the first times they've seen each other since. And I mean, dude, Jason started going off about he had 5 more horsepower than me, and next thing you know, these guys, I got to calm Eford down. He's trying to get into it with GRP. I'm like, hey, it's good. It was racing. It's whatever.
Here you are getting at it. Now, who cleaned the beer off the cart?
GRP took the cart at those times.
Okay.
I think he took the go-kart and then he slept. He put the trophy on his little headboard on his bed, and he took the motor apart like that night.
Yeah.
After he even got back, I was still at the racetrack, and he'd be texting me.
What a finish, too. I really didn't know what they were going to try. I know seeing Ridenhour behind you, he'll pull any stunt he can to try to win it, which I don't blame him. I would, too.
And they had me crossed up down there, and Eford got under me, and I said, oh, boy, the boss man's going to give us hell if we don't win this thing. And luckily, I was able to get him back going down the back straightaway with the hog of a motor we got for this thing, and we pulled it off, so it was awesome.
How nervous were you in those last couple of laps?
Derek
That last
Pernicidio.
restart, everybody shuffled,
Yeah.
and it looks
Dude,
like you were
He's
going
having,
to lose the race.
my heart goes out to him. I know
Yeah,
I
for
pick
sure.
around on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to lose it, though. I just knew it was my race to lose. So, holding my head up half the time. I got in the 500 out here earlier. Didn't even get to drive the mini sprint yet, and I'm just slap wore out. Dude, you So know it what's was, crazy?
That was good. I'm just luckily
That
enough
was
to sit in the
today, I
seat.
think,
Brandon
that
GRP,
race.
Oh,
he's
was
been
it?
I got
working
a
his
I
ass
got a
off on the
memories
motors
that
and
I
doing
drove
just
the
everything
500
from
at
mini cups to
of Dylan Smith.
mini sprints to friggin' 500s, everything. I can't think of them enough. I'm lucky enough to sit in the seat.
Well, we've got really big trophies when winners win in the DNQ series, but now we're going to the opposite end of the spectrum. Here's your winning trophy for the DNQ tonight.
Go up on the shelf and sit next to the other one. So hell
There
yeah.
was, there was a bigger one than that. They just messed with you. Derek likes to give you shit.
I told him we're coming
That's
for him
awesome.
for the championship. So hopefully it'll be a good season. We'll just start it off great.
They
Tim
won the
Nye starts his
championship that year.
championship run here tonight at Millbridge.
Easy. Won it easily.
Well, what a race we had here today. Tim Nye takes.
Well, Tim, as always, it was great catching up with you, and I really enjoyed spending some time with you guys in your shop here, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work, and I enjoy all the videos still, even though I'm not a part of it, and I hope the series continues to grow and kick ass.